Hey there, my friend. Take a deep breath. You are here again. Somehow, life brought you to this moment, right before the end of the year, with a quiet question whispering inside your head. Am I really living as the person I want to be? If your answer feels uncertain, that's okay. Today's episode is not about shame. It's about waking up from the soft fog of comfort, distraction, and endless scrolling, and remembering that there's a version of you who is powerful, focused, and full of life. This episode is called End the Lazy Girl Era, Step into Your Power. It's a story about taking your life back before the next year arrives. Not in a harsh, hustle way, but in a gentle, conscious way. Because power is not about perfection. Power is about direction. And today, we begin again. I used to call it the lazy era. It's that strange season of life when you have dreams, but you don't touch them. When your body wakes up, but your energy doesn't. When you feel alive online, but numb in real life. Have you ever felt that way? You open your phone before your eyes are even fully open. You tell yourself you'll just check one thing, but 20 minutes disappear. You feel busy but not productive. You smile but feel empty inside. That's the lazy era. And it's not because you're lazy. It's because you've forgotten your rhythm. Let me tell you a story. A few months ago, one of my students, Hannah, came to class late again. She sat down, looked at her phone, sighed, and said, "Teacher, I'm just tired. I don't even know why." So I asked, "What's your routine like these days?" She laughed, half embarrassed. "Well, I wake up, check my messages, scroll for a bit, then I feel bad about wasting time, so I rush to get ready, skip breakfast, and then I'm late anyway." We smiled together, because honestly, who hasn't been there? The lazy era is not about failure. It's about disconnection from our routines, our focus, and our deeper sense of purpose. But here's the good news. If you can recognize that you're in the lazy era, that means you're already waking up. Awareness is the first step back to power. The lazy era. Let's talk about it honestly. The lazy era feels comfortable. It feels easy. It feels safe. You convince yourself that you're resting, but deep down, you know you're avoiding something. You start every day with a small, "I'll do it later," and end every night with a quiet, "Why didn't I do it?" You're not broken, you're just stuck in the loop. That loop usually has 3 invisible walls. The dopamine wall, you crave instant pleasure. Your brain gets used to the little hits of happiness from scrolling, eating, or escaping responsibility. But the more you chase those tiny hits, the harder it becomes to focus on slow, meaningful work. The perfection wall, you tell yourself you can't start until you're ready, or the timing is right, or the plan is perfect. But perfection is a trap. It keeps you safe from failure, but also from progress. The comfort wall, you've worked hard before, you've achieved things, and now your mind whispers, you deserve to relax. And yes, you do. But rest without purpose slowly turns into drift. One day you look around, and everything feels the same. Your room, your phone, your thoughts. When I was younger, I used to believe motivation was like magic. It just appeared. But now I know motivation grows from time's movement. You don't wait for it. You create it. You build it by doing one small thing, then another. That's what ending the lazy era is all about. It's not a fight, it's a return. A return to the version of you who used to care. Who used to plan, dream, and follow through. Who used to believe in tomorrow and made tomorrow happen. Let's pause here for a mini reflection. Write this sentence and finish it honestly. I feel disconnected from my best self because... Don't overthink. Be gentle. You might write something like, I spend too much time comparing myself. I lost my routine. I stopped believing I could change. Whatever it is, name it. Naming your truth is how you begin to take your power back. Now, let's look at what happens when you stay in the lazy era for too long. You stop trusting yourself. Every time you make a promise and don't keep it even a small one, you lose a bit of self-respect. You start believing the lie that you're not capable of change. And that's when the lazy era becomes dangerous. Because it doesn't feel like a prison. It feels like a blanket. It's warm, familiar, and heavy. And it slowly hides your light. When I first started teaching English online, I went through my own lazy era. After a few months of success, I told myself, "You've done enough. You can relax now." So I did. I stopped planning my lessons carefully. I watched more shows, spent more time scrolling, and told myself it was self-care. But weeks later, my creativity disappeared. My confidence, too. I wasn't resting, I was avoiding responsibility disguised as rest. And one morning, I looked in the mirror and thought, who am I becoming? That's when I knew the lazy era had to end. The turning point, enough is enough. The turning point never feels dramatic at first. It's often quiet, like a whisper, like the first stretch of sunlight after weeks of gray. You don't need to wait for January 1st or a birthday or some perfect moment. Change begins the moment you say, enough. Enough procrastination. Enough excuses. Enough underestimating myself. You stand in front of the mirror and realize the person holding you back has always been you. But that's also the good news. You can free yourself. Let me tell you a simple truth that changed my life. You cannot hate yourself into becoming better. You can only lead yourself there with honesty and kindness. So before you plan your new habits or morning routines, start with reflection. Not guilt, reflection. Here's how I do it. Every time I feel lost or distracted, I take my journal and answer 2 questions. What's happening right now in my life? Why is it happening? It sounds simple, but it's powerful. Because when you write it down, you stop lying to yourself. You stop saying, I'm just tired, and start saying, I sleep at 2 a.m. every day. You stop saying, I'm not motivated, and start saying, I watch 3 hours of TikTok before work. You stop saying, I don't have time, and start saying, I give my time to the wrong things. That's when real awareness begins. One of my favorite quotes says, you can't change what you refuse to confront. So today, let's confront. Let's be honest, not cruel, just real. Maybe your space is messy. Maybe you stopped reading. Maybe you don't move your body anymore. Maybe you've lost touch with your spirituality or your hobbies. Maybe your phone is your comfort more than your friends are. It's okay. We've all been there. But let's not stay there. When Fernanda, the creator of the original episode, said, "It is enough," she was speaking a truth many of us hide from. We all reach that point when comfort becomes frustration. When we feel our potential slowly slipping away. That's when you draw the line. That's when you take your power back. Because laziness is not your identity. It's just your current state. And states can change. Let's do another reflection together. Write this sentence. If I continue living like this for the next 6 months, what will my life look like? Don't rush the answer. Close your eyes and visualize it. See the details, your mornings, your health, your mood. Does that version of you feel proud? Or does she feel tired of her own excuses? If the second one feels true, then congratulations, you just found your reason to change. Now, here's the mindset shift that really helps. You don't need to fix your life. You just need to realign it. Your best self is not gone, she's waiting. And the bridge between lazy and productive is built with one action: responsibility. Not in a heavy way, in a loving way. Because responsibility is not punishment. It's self-respect in motion. From here, you can start designing your comeback. In the next parts of this series, we'll talk about routines, motivation, environment, and emotional focus. But for now, I just want you to take this first step. Decide that you're done living small. Decide that your dreams deserve your discipline. Decide that your peace deserves your protection. You don't have to wait for a sign. This is the sign. So take a deep breath, straighten your back, and whisper to yourself, right now, I'm not lazy, I'm ready. You're listening to SoftPodcast English. And this is your teacher, your narrator reminding you. You are not behind, you are right on time. Because today, you decided to start again. In the next episode, we'll rebuild step by step your morning routine, your mindset, and your personal rhythm, so that by the time 2025 arrives, you'll not just survive it. You'll walk into it powerful, grounded, and glowing. So, stay with me. Let's end the lazy girl era and step fully into your power. Rebuilding routines, the foundation of flow. Let's start simple. When your mornings are messy, your mind feels messy too. When your nights are unplanned, your thoughts stay restless. So we're going to rebuild your days, not with perfection, but with intention. Imagine your day like a song. Morning is your opening melody, soft but powerful. Afternoon is your build-up, your focus zone. Night is your quiet outro, your time to reflect, rest, and recharge. When you design your days like that, life starts to flow again. Your morning routine, the first promise. I want you to remember one phrase today. Win the morning, win the day. Your morning is not just the start of your day, it's a declaration of self-respect. You're saying to yourself, my energy matters, my peace matters, my focus matters. Here's a simple formula I call the 3 M's morning flow. Move your body even just 5 minutes. Stretch, breathe, walk around your room. Movement signals your brain. We are awake. We are alive. Meditate or write, give your thoughts space. It doesn't have to be deep. You can simply write, today I want to feel focused and kind. You are training your brain to start times on purpose. Make it real. Do one small action that matches the person you want to be. If your goal is to be healthy, drink water. If your goal is to be organized, make your bed. If your goal is to be calm, play soft music while you breathe. That's it. Simple. And if you do this for 7 days, you'll notice something shift inside you. Because your actions are like mirrors, they remind your brain who you are becoming. Midday flow. Work with focus, not pressure. We often think productivity means doing more. But true productivity is doing what matters with focus. Try this. Before you start your work, write down your top 3 priorities for the day. Then circle the one that matters most. That's your frog. You may have heard the quote, eat the frog first. It means do the hardest, most important thing before your brain gets tired of negotiating. Then reward yourself. A walk, a drink, a 5-minute scroll, but only after the frog is eaten. That's how you train your brain to see work not as punishment, but as a path to peace. Evening routine, the closing ceremony. You don't go to bed to escape the day. You go to bed to close it beautifully. Here's what I want you to try tonight. No screens 30 minutes before sleep. You deserve silence. Reflect on 3 wins. Even small ones. I made my bed. I replied to that message. I didn't quit. Prepare your space. Clean one small corner of your room. Tomorrow will thank you. And finally, whisper to yourself, today I showed up for me. Because you did. Focus and dopamine discipline. Now that we've rebuilt your structure, let's talk about your attention, your most precious currency. Every notification, every scroll, every meaningless comparison steals a little bit of your power. And over time, your brain becomes addicted to noise. You don't need to delete your apps to find peace, you just need to retrain your dopamine. The dopamine detox rule. Dopamine is your motivation chemical. It's not bad, it's necessary. But if you feed it only with quick hits, scrolls, sweets, gossip, it becomes impatient. So here's what you do. Start your day with natural dopamine, things that bring slow, real satisfaction. Like finishing a small task, walking in the sun, reading a few pages, cooking something simple. And avoid the digital dopamine trap for the first hour of the morning. No social media, no messages, no chaos. You are the main character of your morning, not your phone. The focus muscle. Think of focus as a muscle. If you haven't trained it, of course it feels weak. But you can build it. Start with the 25-minute focus rule. Work for 25 minutes, rest for 5. That's one focus cycle. After 4 cycles, take a longer break. It's called the Pomodoro technique, but I like to call it mind sprints. Because you don't need to run all day, you just need to sprint with purpose, then rest with peace. Recharging without escaping. One more thing. Rest is not the opposite of productivity. Rest is part of it. But mindless scrolling isn't rest, it's escape. So ask yourself, what actually restores me? Maybe it's a walk, music, journaling, stretching, or silence. Whatever it is, schedule it. Make recovery intentional. That's how you create balance without burning out. Goals and affirmations. Speaking power into existence. Now, let's talk about goals, but in a way that actually works. Because goals without emotion are just to-do lists. You don't just set goals, you feel them. The 2-layer goal method. Every goal has 2 layers. The outer goal, the thing you can measure. I want to read 1 book this month. The inner goal, the reason you want it? I want to trust my mind again. When you connect both, you turn tasks into transformation. Try it. Write 1 goal for this month. Then write 1 sentence starting with because. That because is your emotional engine. Affirmations that work. Affirmations are not magic spells, they are gentle reminders of who you want to be. But here's the trick. Don't say affirmations that your brain doesn't believe yet. Say ones that feel possible. Instead of, I'm perfect, try I'm learning to show up for myself. Instead of, I'm successful, say, I'm building success, 1 habit at a time. And say them out loud. Every morning, look at yourself and say, I'm consistent, I'm capable, I'm becoming. Because words become patterns. And patterns become identity. The mirror exercise. Here's one I love. Stand in front of your mirror every morning. Look into your eyes and ask, what do you need from me today? Sometimes the answer will be rest. Sometimes courage. Sometimes focus. Whatever it is, give it to yourself. That's self-discipline in its kindest form. Real-life comebacks. Let's bring this to life with stories real, simple, human stories. Story 1. The student who found her focus. Lena was preparing for her IELTS exam. Every night she told herself, tomorrow I'll start studying properly. But every night, tomorrow never came. Until one Sunday afternoon, she took out her notebook and wrote 1 sentence. If I fail again, it won't be because I didn't try. She made a plan. 2 hours every morning, 30-minute walks every evening. She put her phone in another room. 3 months later, she passed not because she studied harder, but because she studied consistently. Story 2. The mother who rebuilt her routine. Sophia, a single mom, told me once, I feel guilty every day, like I'm failing at work, at home, at life. I asked her to create 1 non-negotiable self-care ritual, just 15 minutes. She chose to stretch and drink tea after her kids went to bed. It sounded small, but that moment became sacred. Within weeks, she started sleeping better, waking up earlier, and feeling proud again. 1 small ritual changed her rhythm and her confidence. Then one day, I decided to record a short English story, not for money, not for views, but for love. That story became the first episode of SoftPodcast English. And here we are today, you and I, sharing this moment. Sometimes, your comeback starts with 1 act of love for what you do. Final reflection, 2025. Here we come. Take a deep breath again. If you've made it this far, you've already changed. Because change doesn't begin when life gets easier, it begins when you decide to keep showing up. Let's look ahead together. Imagine it's January 1st, 2025. You wake up in a room that feels peaceful. Your phone is on the table, not in your hand. You stretch, open the window, and feel the air on your skin. You smile because this time, you didn't wait for motivation. You built it. You didn't chase perfection, you built peace. And that's what stepping into your power truly means. Write this in your journal tonight. What kind of person do I want to be in 2025? Then add one more line. What is one thing I can do tomorrow to live like that person today? You don't need to do it all. You just need to start. So as we close this episode, I want you to remember these words. Discipline is love. Routine is protection. Focus is freedom. And self-belief, that's your power. Thank you for listening to Soft Podcast English. If this episode helped you, whisper this to yourself before you sleep tonight. I'm not behind, I'm just beginning. Because you are. And this time, you're beginning with clarity, courage, and calm strength. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep stepping into your power. This was End the Lazy Girl Era. Step into your power. Your teacher, your friend, your reminder that you can always begin again.